Hey there, I'm Dr. J-Mac, and I'm completely blind reacting to some random British sitcom called I Am Alan Partridge. The only thing I know is that this guy has been trying to get into this country club. They haven't let him in, and here we go. All right, Alan Partridge. Let's go, buddy. What do you got for me?
Hello?
Hello.
Right. You do know who I am?
I actually don't know who he is. I'm sorry,
Gossip,
British people.
There's a complimentary copy of my book, Bouncing Back, behind reception. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Right, great. Well, I'll replicate the cover stance.
Okay, go on then.
Feels like smile muscles are fatiguing.
Hello? Can I help you?
Yeah. Is Sean there?
No, he just knocked off for the evening. Can I help you?
No, it's fine.
Somebody else
fine,
random.
thank you.
Alan, what are you doing?
Climbing over a fence.
Oh, you should watch yourself. You're nearly fit.
You're going to say I was nearly 50 then? Right, we're nearly 50 then, but at least I can make Lil, I've pierced my foot on a spike.
Did you say he pierced? Oh, no! Oh, no! If this happens to you, don't move it. Don't take your foot off.
Then all the blood will run out the hole in my foot, you know. Well, I'll leave it on the spike.
Pull it off the spike.
No, don't pull it off the spike. Stay there. Stay there. Call 911 or call whatever the British number is for 911.
Be normal, be normal. Hello, Dante Fires, just through that. Oh, you're going to have a good time. Just being a bit...
The next most important thing is to act completely normal when you're in that situation.
Yeah, it's squelching. Listen.
Oh, my gosh. That's like the most ghetto dressing I've ever seen. You just like laid a paper towel on top of the wound.
Some of these people have come from Stoke.
Really what you want to do is actually create a compression dressing, which you basically just like tightly wrap a dressing around the wound to promote coagulation or blood clotting, basically, so you don't bleed to death. And also go to the emergency room. Don't go and do a speech.
What a year it's been for Dante Fires. Maybe you're here tonight with a wife or an old flame.
Yeah, so at this point his adrenaline is probably starting to wear off, and he's starting to get a little lightheaded. He's definitely lost a good amount of blood. Heart rate might be racing. Blood pressure might be steadily dropping. Depends on how much blood he lost and whether he's on blood thinners, right?
Christ. Sorry, I keep saying Christ. I know some of you may be religious, and to those people, I apologize.
What's the mechanism behind people throwing up when they're in a lot of pain? I have no idea. It happens all the time, though.
So, I'm supposed to hit that later. Just wait, there's a
Okay, if you get impaled by a fence post, as people commonly do, the most important thing you can do is just stay there. Call 911, call the British equivalent of that, which I think is 999. You guys just always have to switch it up, or is it us that has to switch it up? But stay perfectly still. If you pull that thing out of position, you're just going to bleed. You can literally bleed to death from an injury like that, even though it's in the foot.
A glittering year ahead.
This guy's hilarious.
Absolutely. The Norfolk Broads offers the true peace and tranquility of the English countryside. 1 million miles from the urban decay of the Manchester Ship Canal and the pot-smoking, whore-ridden waterways of Amsterdam. Indeed, disused cotton mills and legalised hardcore pornography are 1 million miles from your thoughts as you negotiate the Norfolk Broads. In fact, the very fact that hardcore pornography is not on the agenda...
Was that a dead body? What just hit him? Why was there a cow on the bridge? What the hell? Okay, the first thing you need to do when a cow lands on you is get the cow off. Because right now, the pressure of the cow can be enough to prevent you from actually inhaling oxygen, exhaling carbon dioxide, and it won't be long before you go out.
Is an unknown quantity.
Yeah, but he's not under a cow.
So book a holiday.
I love how when he was talking, it didn't even sound like there was an extremely heavy animal laying on top of it.
Okay, stick him in the ambulance. Lovely, great. Well done.
Cheers, Alan.
All right, I'm going to pause it there. So in addition to needing to get that cow off of you pretty much immediately, I'm worried about multiple other injuries if said cow lands on you in your future at some point. You could have rib fractures. A blunt trauma like that to your abdomen is absolutely enough to injure your liver or your spleen. You literally can bleed out into your abdomen and not see any blood and potentially die from this. That could absolutely crush your pelvis. One, extremely painful, but two, you can also bleed out internally and you wouldn't necessarily know it, other than the fact that you'd get really lightheaded, weak, you'd probably pass out, and you'd maybe poop yourself. That actually happened. This was really crazy. But early on in my career as an emergency doctor, there was a young EMS driver, is what we call them, but an ambulance driver, very well trained, that was new though. And there is a patient who got into a car accident, and she hit somebody else or somebody else hit her. I don't remember the specifics, but the person who was like, take me to the hospital, it was so dramatic and stuff like that, I took care of her. She had no injuries whatsoever. The other person that was like, I'm cool, I'm just gonna go ahead and drive home. She started driving. She got like a half a block down the road, and then her car swerves off. She opens the door and she just falls out. And the young paramedic runs over, pushes her into the car, which, like, this is a no-no. You really shouldn't do this, but honestly, it ended up saving her life. He put her into her own car, and he just started driving because he knew the most important thing was getting her to the hospital as soon as possible. And they weren't far away either. And she got to the hospital, and her blood pressure was extremely low, and her heart rate was extremely fast. And when I looked inside her abdomen with an ultrasound, so we can use an ultrasound probe, the same thing that we use to look at babies, I look at her belly, and she has this faint little black stripe in between her kidney and her liver. And I've looked at a million of these, and I know, I mean, that's hyperbole. I've looked at a lot of these, thousands of these, and there's not supposed to be a little black stripe there. And that tiny black stripe was blood. And fortunately, I acknowledged it or identified it really early because we initiated the transfer to a level 1 trauma center. And before the chopper got there, because we fly out, we're really far in the countryside. Before the chopper got there, I looked again at her abdomen, and that tiny stripe between the liver and the kidney was extremely wide. She was hemorrhaging out into her abdomen, most likely actually from the seatbelt, because the seatbelt comes across your belly right there, and you can get enough force when you get thrown forward in a car accident to shear the blood vessels, one, the blood vessels in your intestines, and two, potentially crack your liver or your spleen. And we also gave her a medicine called TXA, or tranexamic acid, which helps you basically to clot in a traumatic scenario like that. This lady ended up surviving. But what made me think of this is that what she did after she pulled over, trying to drive away, being like, I'm going to go home, I'm fine. She pulls over, she falls out of the car, and she pooped herself. And anytime somebody's been in a trauma or a serious accident and they poop yourself, we call it a death poop. It was a death poop. We all knew something terribly serious was going on because she pooped herself. So if you want more attention in the emergency department, I recommend you poop yourself. So we're at the end. Actually, there's nothing else to watch. But that was really funny, man. You guys should actually make this guy famous in Britain. I don't know. This guy that nobody's heard of in the U.S. should probably be famous. Oh, he's ridiculously famous? Oh, it's like one of the most popular sitcoms of all time? Okay, well, you guys are on top of that. I can't tell you what to watch or what not to watch. You already know. Thank you guys for an awesome time here on Dr. J Mac Reacts. Let's do it again sometime. Don't forget to subscribe. All right, guys, this is a bonus for all you Alan Partridge fans out there. I'm an American. Hi, Tex. We're having a hoedown. What is it? I'm down, but I'm not a hoe. Hi, Tex. We're having a hoedown. I'm down, but I'm not a hoe.